Hello, I'm Wanda Sloan from Hillsborough County Office of Neighborhood Relations, and you're watching Tampa Bay Community Network.
Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and this is Spotlight on Government. And my guest today probably knows more about neighborhoods than anybody else in Hillsborough County. No matter what neighborhood you go to any meeting or whatever, all of a sudden she'll be there. Wanda Sloan, I'm so happy to have you back on the program. Community liaison for the neighborhoods for all of Hillsborough County.
All of Hillsborough County.
How do you manage? It just seems like every meeting that we go to, I didn't know it was in Sun City, Ruskin, or any other part of the county, there you are.
I try. I manage, I think, because I love my neighborhoods. I love what I do.
You do?
And so it's not a job. I enjoy being there. I want to know what the concerns are. I want to know what's good. But then I also want to know what we can do better to make our neighborhoods stronger and self-sufficient.
Let's talk about those things that might be coming up about neighborhoods right now.
Okay.
What things are going to be neighborhood events in the next 3-4 months?
In the next 3 or 4 months, well, we have the neighborhood conference, and it's going to be July 23rd.
Okay, let's stop on it before we go on to something else.
Okay.
Let's explain what the neighborhood conference is, because every year I hope to go, and then I turn out that I'm traveling somewhere, but I'm going to try again.
Well, this year, hopefully you'll be able to, because I moved it away from spring break. Usually it's in March or the first part of April. This year we've actually moved it to July 23rd. And the reason we've done that, it's a Saturday, is we're having a youth component this year.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've noticed that in the 16 years that I've been in the neighborhoods and worked with neighborhoods, well, 20 plus years, but I'm not going to tell you that because then that would age me. But neighborhoods have a tendency to not always look at the youth as a positive.
Many neighborhoods, believe me.
Right. But during the time where we're at now, so many of the seniors and the people that typically run a neighborhood, they don't know how to do social media. A lot of them don't want to deal with the websites and different things. And that's a great opportunity to include your youth. They also have thoughts and visions of what they would like their neighborhoods to be. They're our future leaders, so why not engage them now?
Getting involved early, yes.
Get them involved now. Use them for your social media. Use them for their ideas. And that's one thing we're going to do at the neighborhood conference. We're actually allowing them to have their own workshops that they're planning. But as part of that, we've partnered with the Children's Board of Hillsborough County, and they're going to give a $2,000 prize to the youth group that wins. And what they have to do is tell us what they like about their neighborhood, what they would like to see changed in their neighborhood, and then their project is to come up with a plan on how they would make that change, that positive change in their neighborhood.
And what ages will we be reaching with that?
It will be 13 to 19.
Okay.
So it's during the true time of being a teenager. And they'll have the application should be online the 1st of April. And then they'll have until about the first part of July to submit their applications. Then they'll be reviewed by the youth group. We have a youth committee that is through the Hillsborough County Parks Department. And they will actually be the judges that will make the deciding factor on who wins.
Now this will be on the county website?
Yes, it'll be on county website, www.hillsboroughcounty.org.
And then where do they go? Because that's a big website.
Go to the neighborhood relations page.
Okay.
And there's a drop down for ABCD. Go through your alphabet and it's under neighborhood relations.
You know, you make a very good point, Wanda. There's a lot of people out there who are seniors, and they're not the same kind of seniors that we dealt with, or I dealt with when I was much younger.
Right.
When I came down to Florida to visit my mother, the first thing I did when I pulled in the condo was start getting phone calls from people wanting me to stop 12 from flashing on their videotape recorders. These people today are much more savvy in their own right,
yes,
and are more willing to move into an area. In fact, in Sun City Center, and we'll talk about that again a little bit, one of the USF people came out and wanted to do a study on Facebook, and people who had never used it. And they thought maybe they get 1 or 2. They maxed out. And now they're talking about doing a second group out there because they just had so many people say, no, I want to use Facebook. My grandchildren use it. How do I use it?
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. We're in such a different time right now in our culture that we have gone from, we were amazed when we got answering machines and we could go home and hit the button and hear who called.
And maybe didn't drop it.
Right. And now it's 24-hour access. I mean, there's people, I do. If I wake up during the night for any reason, I'll check my county phone and I'll answer emails or do different things. So there's generations that are never unplugged, even though we should, but there's still generations that are never unplugged. Take that talent, take that time, and use that to reach out.
Sure.
A lot of people don't read newsletters anymore. That it's just something with time. People want it accessed all the time on your phone or on your computer, and that's a perfect way to do it, through Facebook, through Nextdoor, through websites. Get the communication out and let the neighborhoods know what's going on in their community.
So let's go back to the conference itself. Besides the youth component, what else do we have?
Well, we have our neighborhood components, and with our neighborhood components, I'm actually going to send out a survey this year. It should be going out by Monday, asking the neighborhoods that are registered with our office what you would like to see. What workshops would you like to have? Code enforcement is always a very popular.
Yes.
It's always full. We always have to put them in the biggest room because that's something that applies to every neighborhood, no matter if you're in Avila, Sun City, or if you're in Hyde Park or wherever you're going to be. Code enforcement is a big issue. So code enforcement will always be on the agenda. We're also doing one where we're doing a meeting and we're actually portraying a mock board meeting. Because if you ever want to see dysfunction, go to a homeowners association meeting. And the dysfunction is just unbelievable. So not on all, some do a great job. Others, it's crazy.
I would tell you that I've been a member of Toastmasters International for 36 years, and they started getting Robert's Rules of Order in my head 36 years ago. And as I go to a meeting and I watch it run, I'll tell you what, it's scary in a lot of businesses.
It is scary because a lot of people don't realize when you go into a neighborhood, especially a mandatory homeowners association, you're going into business with your neighbors because everything they do to their home and their property affects your property. When they're sued, you're sued. If you're going to sue your homeowners association, you're suing yourself. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. But on the flip side of that, there's people that get on neighborhood association boards that they want to be dictators and they want to have their way. So that's kind of what we try to do at the neighborhood conference, is offer ways to handle conflict, to allow you as a person to look at yourself and say, how do I lead? What is my personality? What do I need to change? How do I make my neighborhood stronger? So we're going to have that. And our session 3, we usually have session A, session B, and session C. And we usually have 4 to 6 workshops in each session. For session C this year, we're actually going to bring the youth and the adults together and have a community conversation.
That'd be interesting.
We're going to have a community conversation together. We'll break out into different areas, and there'll be residents there, there'll be a youth there, and there'll be law enforcement there. And we're going to actually have a community conversation about neighborhoods. What are we doing good? There's a lot of good out there. You know, so many times we're having this competition now in neighborhoods where different lives matter. All lives matter. And we all need
Boy,
to
I
know.
go with you on that.
Yes.
All lives matter.
And we all need to come together. And with Hillsborough County, they've been doing Safe and Sound for a while now. It's something that Commissioner Beckner started. And it's to look at the violence and the different crime aspects that are going on in the neighborhoods. And you know, so many times we think, well, that's only in at-risk neighborhoods. That's not true. It's in every neighborhood, no matter if it's a gated community or if it's an open community where there's all eyes on the street. There's always some sort of crime or safety issues that are going on. And with that, we're talking to kids and we're going in and listening to what they have to say. And it's very important for them to not just see a uniform and for the uniforms not to just see a kid, but to actually see the people and hear what needs to be said. So I'm really looking forward to that at the neighborhood conference with the youth component and then with bringing the youth and the community together and actually having a conversation. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
You bring up a really strong point, and I like the idea that you've just presented, because I keep hearing communities saying, what are you doing for us? And I think with the other side, if you want, if government, government has to turn back to the community and say, what are you doing for yourself?
And that right there is a great point, Bill. It is a fabulous point, and it's something that I tell my neighborhoods all the time when I go in. I've been working in Waimama closely for about 5 years, and we've had other neighborhoods that I've worked with. We're working right now with Green Ridge, and that's the first thing I tell the neighborhoods when I go in. Don't ask me what I'm going to bring to you, because I want to know what you're bringing to your community. What are your assets that you have in your community? Do you have teachers? Do you have people that can speak multiple languages? Do you have somebody that can mentor? Do you have somebody that can sew? Somebody that can bake? Let's see what your assets are here. And then let's look at your community around you. What are the businesses that you frequent every day? What are their role in your neighborhood? What are they doing to help that neighborhood? Because that neighborhood is who provides them with their customers.
Right, are they just carpetbaggers?
Right.
So just take and take and take.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's look and see what you have, what they have, and then we'll look at what's left, at what you need, and then I'll take that back to the county. And let's see how we can partner with different agencies and with different departments to make sure that the needs are met. But if that means that you want a swimming pool in your community, that's totally different. But you know, we're dealing with Palm River right now. We're putting new water lines through there. Hillsborough County is paying for that to bring them the water source that we all get to enjoy throughout other areas of the county. So you know, there's so much. We have a thing through my office that's called Government Leadership University. And we do it once a year. And it allows the residents from all over Hillsborough County to come and see their government from the inside out. See what your tax dollars are being spent on. See what services are being offered. Then give us your ideas. Let us know what's working and what's not. And let us go from there. Because Hillsborough County has made a huge leap toward customer service. That's a big deal for Mike Merrill. It's something that he's pushed ever since that he's gotten in there. And yeah, I guess you can say I drank the Kool-Aid on that, because our residents are our most important source of anything that we can do.
I don't think it's Kool-Aid there. Mike Merrill has done a good job, and I'm
Yes.
a taxpayer, and if I didn't think he had, I pay his salary, I'd be saying something about it. But the response we get from all of Hillsborough County when I've wanted something, just recently, our community out in Sun City Center has been targeted by what I consider unscrupulous water people trying to frighten old elderly residents into having their water tested and getting devices and all this sort of thing. And so I contacted the water department, and everything I needed to know was right there. somebody was saying something about THB or something in the water. We're 50% of what's allowable.
Right, and that's a great point, and it's a great source. Anytime anybody comes to your door offering you some sort of service or saying that you need this or there's something wrong with the services that you're receiving, the first thing you should do is call your county or your city agency and ask them, because that's something we want you to know. We want you to know that Hillsborough County provides some of the highest quality of water of anywhere in the country.
They gave me testing results.
Yes. I mean, you
certified testing results.
If you look at our certified testing results, and you can drink our reclaimed water. Not that I suggest that you do that, but think about that. You can drink our reclaimed water. Our reclaimed water is at a standard that some of the states, I'm not going to call any out, but it's worse than what they're giving their residents. And this is our reclaimed water. So, we are moving forward. We're doing great things in the community. And that's why I have a job. Hillsborough County thinks enough of their residents of wanting to know that, we have liaisons. We have our Hispanic liaison. We have our African American liaison. We have me as a neighborhood liaison. We have different liaisons that are out there, and we all work together to try to improve Hillsborough County and hear what you have to say.
I really honestly believe, and not just because the lady's sitting here, I'd tell you at any time, if they did something with her job, the community would rise up. Because you do provide a lot of value to the people around you. Leaving the conference, what other things might be coming up that would be something that people would want to know right now?
Well, we have our trainings that we offer. They're always listed on our website, and you can go to hillsboroughcounty.org and go to neighborhood relations. We offer trainings on board certification, on how to be on a board, but we also offer them on leadership training. We're doing more and more on leadership training.
Now, is there a fee that people have to pay to come to these
Anything
classes?
that comes through my office, we don't charge for. Even with the neighborhood conference, the county doesn't give me a big budget for that, but we get sponsors. This is our 13th year.
Okay.
So I reach out. One of our sponsors is TICO. They've been with us from the beginning, because TICO, they offer services to the community and they give back to the community.
They're good corporate citizens.
Exactly. So we have a lot of partnerships that we have that they don't necessarily always give us money. It's not the money that I want, it's the services. They'll give things away at the conference, or they'll help pay for something. So it's things like that we try to get sponsorships for.
So there's no charge to come to the conference?
No charge, and we feed you lunch.
Really?
There's giveaways because there's vendors all through. We have over 100 vendors typically that are there that range from everything from pest control to property managers to Hillsborough County. All of our departments come out.
So it's like a big trade show.
That's exactly what it is. But
Wow.
we offer trainings that are free so that you can learn how to stabilize your community.
Let's move off of this just for a second,
Okay.
but actually staying with it. I mentioned Sun City Center, and since I live out there, I'm reasonably aware of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And we have some boulevards in town that the community is 50 years old, and when they were first planted, they were absolutely gorgeous, and they were kept that way by the builder. But our builder is leaving, and the responsibility for those boulevards are going to go back to the county or to the associations out there if we want to keep them going. Right. And they're beautiful, but they're high maintenance.
They are high maintenance. When the developer came in, think about it, it was 50 years ago. So 50 years ago, you didn't have the technology that we have now. So, they were planted with what trees were Florida at that time,
right.
or what
Big,
we pictured. Right. You have palm trees that look like you're in Dr. Seuss. That's what I always think of those really tall palm trees, the lollipop trees.
Yeah.
But the developer actually went into an agreement with Hillsborough County when they came into Sun City, and they adopted their medians, which is something a lot of associations like to do. Because we maintain at a standard of necessible. We want to make sure that you can see. If you can access that boulevard and see safely and it's not an eyesore, then we've done what we need to do.
Something like 15 inches, right?
Right, we've done what we need to do. We have a lot that we have to do, so out there mowing the grass and trimming, it takes up a lot of money. That's a lot of budget time. So what some neighborhoods have done is they've adopted their medians so that they can take it to a new level. It's a boulevard that's entering into their community. The same thing goes for Sun City Center. Their South Pebble Beach and North Pebble Beach goes into their original part of Sun City. It's their main boulevard through there, other than, the 674.
Which also we take care of.
Yes, but it was adopted, that's maintained by a different group in Sun City Center. But with the North Pebble Beach and South Pebble Beach, the associations are actually going to take that over once the developer leaves in 2017.
You brought a group of them together in order to be able to do this, correct?
Yes, because my office offers grants. That's one thing that Hillsborough County does to give back to their neighborhoods is we have neighborhood grants that we offer. We have a neighborhood mini grant that's available the 1st of April that you can apply for, that's for anything that will bring a community together. We want you to know your neighbor. We want you to want to help them and to be with them. So that's a $2,500 grant that we offer once per year. We have a tree grant, and that's what Sun City Center has used in other neighborhoods, where you can put trees in your neighborhood in any area that's a common area owned by the neighborhood.
And that comes from a fund. You mentioned how that was developed, how they get the money into that fund.
Yes, we have, when developers come into Hillsborough County and they're developing property, they remove trees, they cut trees down. Well, in the state of Florida, you have to replace those trees. There's a certain criteria that you have to meet. If you're not going to replace the trees that you've removed, then you pay into what we call our restoration fund. The restoration fund is a pot of money that is used then to restore trees to different areas of the county, or maybe even into that neighborhood. But the neighborhoods actually can apply for a $2,500 grant.
And which our neighborhoods have done.
Yours actually came in, adopted their medians, and with that, 10 neighborhoods came together, because you have the Master Association of Sun City Center,
Right.
but then you have individual neighborhoods
Homeowners Association.
throughout Sun City Center. So 10 different neighborhoods came together. They applied for 10 different grants. They applied for 10 tree grants and 10 low volume irrigation grants. They put then that money together and they purchased Florida-friendly, drought-tolerant plants to go in the medians. Now the medians that Sun City Center has, they already have water there. So
And that's
they have
reclaimed, if I'm
system.
not wrong, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know. I know that there's different areas in the county that has reclaimed. I'm not sure if Sun City has the reclaim.
I'll have to check on that.
I will have
Somewhere
to check
along-
on that too.
Somewhere along the line, somebody told me medians were that, but
It could be.
you get told a lot of things.
Right. That's why I was quick to say I'd have to check on that. But with that, they've taken the typical sprinkler head off that shoots up, because in Florida, when that water shoots up, it evaporates because of the heat and the humidity. So very little of it hits the ground, especially if you're watering during the day. So with the grant, you can do a low volume irrigation grant, which actually percolates that water into the ground and it saves on water. But once these trees are established and these bushes and plants, they're all Florida friendly and drought tolerant. We work with the Florida Extension Office. So the cooperative office helps us with their forester to help pick out the plants that work good in these areas.
And we're not talking about having to mow them every week or every 2 weeks or whatever.
No, you may have to come through every couple of months and trim down, but there is no mowing to it because we're not putting sod in it. We're taking the sod out. So these are our trees and plants and bushes that are Florida friendly. And if you have the time, go out and take a look at it. They're absolutely beautiful. They really are.
This really would be a pattern for other neighborhoods.
Yes, that's what we're hoping.
Come out to Sun City, look at what we've done or what we're doing with the county's help, and get back to you and say, hey, I like that too. And they would have people out there they could talk with, I'm sure.
Yes, you can call my office. You can go online. There's plenty of people that can talk to you to help you to do that. We've partnered with Development Services, with our Natural Resources Department, and with the Extension Office to put this together so that we can help neighborhoods to do that. Because, you know, your entrance area for selling homes or maintaining homes, you know, it's like the broken window syndrome. If you have homes that are maintained and boulevards that are maintained, then neighbors and other people will do the same. It's just something that we do. So it's a great program that we offer.
It's sort of like Disney. Disney learned early that if they kept up the park, people wouldn't throw paper on the ground.
Right.
And it's the same way here. If the entrances and exits to any neighborhood look good, then the people inside also take pride in what they have.
Not always, but that's what we hope for.
That's what you're moving towards anyway.
And, you know, if you have a neighborhood that has planted a bush or a tree, if you're out there doing that sweat equity, which they have to do a portion of that, then you're going to care whether or not that plant's alive or if there's trash around it, because you've taken the time to invest in your community. And that's the difference, Bill. If they're investing, if you're doing it versus somebody doing it for you, you're going to take pride in that.
I've talked to you about a variety of things, but we've got about 3 minutes, and this is really your program. So what have I missed that you'd like to get out in 3 minutes or less?
In 3 minutes or less. Go out and vote. That's a big thing. Get to know your neighbor. Talk to your neighbor. Be prepared for disasters. Be prepared for just anything that could come your way. Know your neighbors. Know your neighborhood relations. Reach out to us. Let us serve you and help you in any way that we can. We have a registry where we register neighborhoods with us. And people say, well, what are we getting out of that? That has actually grown and changed a lot. If you're registered with our office, you hear about our grants, you hear about our trainings, but also like during the time that we had all the flooding, our Public Works Department, our Solid Waste Department, even our commissioners called, Wanda, do you know how we can get a hold of this neighborhood or that neighborhood so that we can let them know what we're doing and how we're in the community?
Tremendous benefit.
Tremendous. And when we want to know, like if I have something that we're kicking off or that we're doing and we want to know an opinion, those are the people I contact, because those are the people that are registered with me and with the county. We don't sell your information, we don't do anything like that, but it gives us an opportunity to reach out and to serve you better.
Well, it sounds to me like you've got your hands full.
But I love it.
And you do. It again amazes me. I'll go to this meeting or I'll go to that, and there's Wanda. Normally not on the stage.
No.
Or not up front, but standing in the back, herding people in this direction or that direction. And it's really a wonderful thing you do, and your office does. Don't hesitate to give Wanda a call, the numbers you've seen on the screen, and also go to the website. Look at the things that are there, because there's many, many things beyond what we've talked on the program about. Wanda, I thank you so much for being with me, and I'd really love to have you back. Will you come back?
Anytime. Thank you.
Thanks so much. You're unique, you're special, and you're great. Tell yourself so often, because you are, you know, and we'll see you on the next Spotlight on Government. And Wanda, again, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And we look forward to having you back.
I'll be here.